KOB Eyewitness News 4 at 6.
If a suspicious truck targeting children was driving around your neighborhood, wouldn't you like to know? Neighbors in one Northwest Albuquerque neighborhood are trying to get the word out after they say a truck has approached young girls twice now. And Kasha Grigorchik went to the Tuscany Park neighborhood today and is back in our newsroom. And Kasha, two schools are really close to that neighborhood.
Tessa, that's right. Both an elementary school and a high school are less than a mile away from this neighborhood, not to mention a park as well, where children often play. And today, neighbors in that area want to get the word out so this truck knows not to come back.
It's just terrifying. Honestly, it's just terrifying. It's your parents' worst nightmare, you know, having something happen to their child.
Neighbors living in the area of Bandelier and McMahon were shocked to learn of a suspicious truck making its rounds, appearing to target young girls.
So my first reaction is, holy cow, right? I've got a 15-month-old who's asleep inside right now. According
to a post on the Nextdoor app, a white older model Chevy truck has been seen at least twice talking to young girls, one outside her home and the other as she walked from the bus stop.
I mean, that's really concerning to me. I have a son who's 6, you know, his bus stop's right here. And
the post says a mother caught the driver of the truck speaking with her daughter in one instance and said the man, quote, wanted to talk about finding Easter eggs. This is not a picture of the actual truck, but it's what's being shared among neighbors to keep a close eye out. Other neighbors commenting on the post have been worried over the neighborhood's proximity to 7 Bar Elementary and Cibola High School as many kids walk home from school. Victims say they've reported the suspicious truck to the police, but nearby schools have yet to warn parents.
And a spokesperson for the school district tells us they were not made aware of any threat from local police, and any incidents happened off campus. However, as you can imagine, neighbors who reached out to us personally would really like to make sure we let others know to be on the lookout for that white truck. Tessa?
Very understandable, Kasha. Thank you. We are learning more tonight about the man police say went on a crime spree across 3 states, including New Mexico. Investigators in Kansas arrested Alex Deaton yesterday morning, but he's wanted for 2 murders in Mississippi, including his girlfriend's. While on the run, he made a stop in the foothills where he allegedly carjacked 2 hikers Tuesday night and shot one of them. We have newly released 911 audio from that shooting victim.
It was my girlfriend Sarah's car. He made us get in the trunk, and we were able to jump out, and I'm pretty sure he shot and killed Sarah. And I don't know if he's coming back down. I don't know what's going on, please.
As you heard there, investigators say Deaton forced that man and his girlfriend in their trunk, but they were able to escape. Deaton reportedly went after them, shot the man, and then kidnapped the woman and took her to a nearby home. Investigators say that's where he carjacked another person, but luckily nobody else was hurt. The Deaton family released this statement today. It reads, "Our family is deeply shocked, saddened, and horrified at all that has unfolded since last Wednesday. We are devastated and completely heartbroken for all that has happened." They went on to say, "Although we know that nothing can change the events that have happened, we pray for the victims, their families, and communities to find peace and comfort in the coming days." An Albuquerque mother's nightmare is finally over. Her own son stabbed his father to death and nearly killed her back in 2015. And today he learned he's going to prison for nearly 30 years. Danielle Tedesco has the story of closure tonight. Danielle?
Tessa, James Finch terrified his parents for years. His mother says she was always looking over her shoulder, afraid he would be there. And in August 2015, he broke into their home and attacked them with a knife. Today, he apologized.
James Finch avoided eye contact with his mother in the courtroom. He didn't show much emotion, but his mother saw something different in him today, something the judge confirmed in court.
And are you on any medication at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
How is that affecting you here today?
I can think clearly, Your Honor.
Finch's mother, Kathy, says he battled a meth addiction for years. She says she feels like she lost him a long time ago.
I had had a restraining order prior to the crime, because several months before that he had tried to stab me through the screen door.
In 2015, Finch killed his father and nearly killed Kathy as well. Police said he was found naked, hiding underneath a glass table. Mental illness appears to have been a factor. but his mother believes he's finally being treated. After he pleaded no contest to his charges, including second-degree murder, his mother addressed him in court.
The world that you, James, created for yourself is worse than anything I could have imagined. I grieve the loss of my sweet husband, Dave, and I grieve the loss of you, the cherished child who became a troubled son and gave your life away to drugs.
James also gave a brief statement to his mom, but the judge told him not to face her.
I just want to say to my mom that I am sorry for what I've done, and I do love her.
Whether or not there is any love left in Kathy's heart for her son, she's happy to keep him a secure distance away from her.
His life is so miserable the way he built it. I just feel sad for him.
James Finch was sentenced to 27 years in prison for his plea deal. Kathy Finch says she feels safe knowing he won't be out until she's 94. Now she can live her life without that fear. Tessa?
Thank you, Danielle. The woman who allegedly had a role in a deadly hit-and-run crash in Albuquerque won't be getting out of jail anytime soon. Today, a judge ordered Alexis Groves be held without bond. Groves, along with Paul Garcia, who you see there, are both charged with murder. Police say they both stole a van in January and then crashed it into another vehicle, killing a mother and her teenage daughter. Groves' trial is supposed to start next year. Okay, now let's turn to the 2017 legislative session. This afternoon, our state Senate passed a bill that could have you shelling out 10 cents more per gallon every time you get gas. The proposed gas tax would generate $183 million for the next fiscal year. Kai Porter is live at our Roundhouse tonight to explain where all of that money would go. And Kai, our state hasn't seen a gas tax increase in, 24 years?
Yeah, that's right, Tessa. Not since 1993. And now that this bill has passed the Senate, it goes to the House, where it'll start working its way through the House committee process. And if the House also passes the bill, Governor Martinez would have to sign it for it to become law.
By a vote of 29 in the affirmative, 13 in the negative, Senate Finance Committee substitute for Senate Bills 95 and 131 have passed the Senate.
The bill would raise the gas tax by 10 cents per gallon, from the current 17 cents to 27 cents. Diesel fuel would be taxed an additional 5 cents. The bill also raises the car purchase tax from 3 to 4%. Most of the estimated $183 million generated from the taxes would go to replenishing our state's dwindling reserves. The rest would go to paying for road maintenance around our state. State Senator Clemente Sanchez, a Democrat from Grants who's also a small business developer, is sponsoring the bill and says it's a moderate increase compared to the gas rate in other states.
It's a 10 cent a gallon tax, but it's actually a user fee because we use the roads. The big trucks use the roads on our special fuels tax. We need to repair the roads, or it's going to cost the citizen more money out there to repair their vehicles.
Meanwhile, another gas tax bill passed the House last week and is now working its way through the Senate. That bill would allow cities and counties to ask voters to pass a special gas tax of up to 5% per gallon. And of course, Governor Martinez is opposed to raising taxes, so we'll have to wait and see if she signs either one of these bills if they make it all the way to her desk. Live at the Roundhouse, Kai Porter, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
So would cities around New Mexico consider taxing gas to help generate revenue for projects? It's been considered before. Jen French tells us one city tried to pass its own tax already, but it failed. Jen?
Tessa, Santa Fe attempted to propose a gas tax just last year, but councilors couldn't agree, so it was never put up to vote, and it's possible the city ordinance may be reintroduced. In an effort to pump up this revenue, House Bill 63 would allow cities and counties to fuel their budgets with their own gas tax, but the money generated could only be used for construction or public bridges or highways. It's up to city councils and commissioners to decide how much they can raise the tax. We checked in with some of those communities about the idea of a local gas tax. Las Cruces and Clovis don't have gas taxes. There are no plans to impose one. Santa Fe discussed this again last year, the 2-cent increase, and they are still deliberating if they should do it. But if they did, it would raise more than $1 million. And Albuquerque has no plans on raising taxes. It's not clear what Rio Rancho, Roswell, or Farmington will do if this bill passes. Voters will ultimately decide what they're paying for at the pump. Jen French, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
This week, state lawmakers shot down a bill to legalize recreational marijuana in our state. But a short time ago, the state Senate approved a marijuana decriminalization bill. It reduces penalties for possession of small amounts of pot and drug paraphernalia. So that proposed legislation makes possession of a half an ounce or less a $50 fine. Scary moment for folks grabbing lunch in Santa Fe this afternoon after an SUV crashed right into a restaurant. Police say the 81-year-old driver apparently hit her gas pedal instead of her brakes. The SUV went 25 feet into the Jumbo Cafe. 30 people were in there at the time of that crash. 4 people, including the driver, had to go to the hospital with some minor injuries. This flu virus that has hit New Mexico hard this season is not going away anytime soon. State Department of Health officials say we are only halfway through the flu season. So if you have not gotten your flu shot yet, doctors say get it now. Health officials say there have been 34 pneumonia and flu deaths reported so far during this season in our state. The budget crisis in New Mexico has school districts scrambling for solutions, and one district in southern New Mexico is now switching to a 4-day school week. According to the Silver City Sun News, the Cobre Consolidated School Board has been discussing this possibility for the past 2 years. The district hopes to see a savings on substitute teachers as well as transportation costs. Superintendent Robert Mendoza also hopes this new schedule would attract more educators as that district deals with a teacher shortage. There is another school district considering this option. We're going to have more on that coming up tonight at 6:30. Law enforcement say these 14 people were involved in a massive crime ring. The Farmington Daily Times reports these suspects committed burglaries and larcenies at homes, businesses, and government agencies in and around San Juan County. And some of the items taken were taxidermy mounts like what you see here, ATMs, guns, even vehicles. In all, more than $100,000 worth of items were taken. Police have only arrested 8 of those 14 suspects, though. It is tax season, and sadly that means an increase in identity theft. Police explain how to protect yourself, and one Albuquerque man can tell you it's worth those extra steps. 4 years ago, Ricardo Galicia came home to find his house had been broken into. Along with the TV, the thief decided to take documents, including Galicia's passport and some proof of residency documents.
So I, immediately called the banks, all my credit cards, canceled them all. But this guy was like ahead of the game. This wasn't his first time doing this.
Within a matter of days, Galicia's account was drained and several cards had been opened in his name. The thief had even managed to lock Galicia out of his own accounts by creating a new password. Tonight at 10, Morgan Aguilar explains exactly how the criminal convinced the banks that he was somebody else. Plus, she will have 2 rules that police say can help prevent all of this from happening to you. Still ahead here at 6, though, the musical worlds of Michael Jackson and Diana Ross are making their way to the Duke City. A preview of Motown the Musical coming up.